It's the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
I just realized something.
What's that?
There's something else. We could have called this show something else, and it would still fit. We could have called it Sonic Crackers.
We could.
Couple crackers talking about Sonic.
Yeah.
Coulda. Missed opportunity.
But we didn't, and I think that was the wise move.
Oh, okay, fine.
And there's another thing to be celebrating, aside from dodging that particular bullet. You have a very special day.
Oh, yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, it's the 20th anniversary of me doing podcasts, basically. When this episode goes up, it will be March 15th, 2023, Wednesday. And that was the day, 20 years ago, to the day, that I started doing my own radio show. Nitro Game Injection. Wasn't called Nitro Game Injection for the first episode, but that's okay. Eventually, episode 2 rolled around, and that's when it became called that. But, 20 stinking years. So, KNGI Network plays host to the BumbleKast and a few other shows. So, yeah, big stuff going on today. If you're interested and want to go check it out, if you're listening on the day that this releases, then go check out kngi.org and also go check out kngi.org/discord. Join the Discord and talk. Let's chat about video game music and other cool, fun stuff. Go check it out. So, yeah, 20th anniversary. I don't know what I'm going to be doing for it other than I'm doing a show on that day. That's it. That's all I know. So I'm just going to do a special and it's going to be fun. So tune in for that. Have a good time. Play some video game music. And yeah, you want to be there. 20 years.
It's a good time. It's a good show. There's lots of good music there. You're missing out. So listen in.
Thank you. I've been doing that. I've been doing this show for and this whole podcasting thing for my entire adult life. That's frightening to think about. I was doing podcasts before the term podcasting was even a thing by a few months. So yeah, it was live streaming mainly, and that was before the term live.
One legitimate hipster.
Yeah, and it was even before the term live streaming was even a thing. Like, live streaming was not even a thing. Like, Justin TV and all the early livestream.com, all those early ones, they didn't even exist yet. Most people were still on dial-up. God. Back in the day. Oh, I'm so old. But hey, that's okay. We're here, and we're doing a BumbleKast. So let's do a BumbleKast. We got a priority question episode, of course, with all these questions coming to us from patreon.com/BumbleKast, ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Starting off this one from Judas K. Oh no, the old man owl from the OVA was house-sitting for Sonic and Tails when Metal showed up and made him wear Sonic's favorite clothes again! What ridiculous yet simultaneously radical getup is he dancing around in this time? Has Sonic updated his drip, or is he still clinging to clothes from the 90s that he's never going to wear? What sort of dress style would he think is cool?
I mean, this day and age?
A scarf and sports tape. I mean, the 90s is coming back, to be honest with you.
Is that the trend that we're heading towards?
We're going back. We're probably going back to like cargos and Junko jeans and FUBU and stuff like that.
I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah. Probably could be better too.
I am no fashion person.
Me neither.
Knower of things. So I don't even know what's in style these days. But I mean, for the joke to be, on point, it would be whatever is fashionable right now.
We could throw some flannel on Sonic. That's a throwback right there. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's gonna be cool wearing whatever's cool, man. Synthwave is cool. The pinks and purples and blues. Maybe something like that. Here's one from JJ Slider. Question: do Sonic Extra Lives have a place in lore?
No, they are a gameplay element.
Are you telling me that there's not like random TV monitors everywhere that Sonic can break and get powers from, or other sorts of things?
Nope.
Well, that's dumb, and I don't like it.
Too bad.
I blame you, Ian. You did this. You ruined it all. You ruined Sonic forever. Illegal Chow Fights has a question. In Sonic Frontiers, the red seeds of power are heart-shaped, similar to the heart fruits from the Chow Garden. Given that the ancients became the Chow, one can infer that the red seeds of power are the seeds of the heart fruit plant. Is this the case, or purely coincidental?
I don't know. I never made that connection, but it does make enough sense. I'm going to have to ask about that. I don't know. If it is on purpose, that's neat.
Interesting. Or maybe you ask about it and a prompt will be like, yeah, sure, that works. And we got a question from Hugtoad. I love that name. I don't know why. Hugtoad. It's just fun to say. Hey, are you aware/appreciative/third reaction of the number of autistic fans of Sonic? A lot of people like myself both enjoy the range of media and see ourselves in certain characters. Do you perhaps see or understand that particular connection?
Oh, absolutely.
It is hard to ignore.
Mm-hmm. Met a number of them at various shows and interacted with a number of them online, and correspond with a number of parents who are, just happy that Sonic has allowed their children to express themselves better and find common ground with others. So yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon, and it's just another positive aspect of Sonic.
I would say that, it's more likely than not, if you're a Sonic fan, you probably are someone on the spectrum, honestly. It's an interesting fandom. Speaks to a lot of autistic kids, which is great. Here's a question from Happy Times. We've seen that because of her past trauma, Whisper sometimes tries to distance herself from those she cares about, like Tangle, in order to protect them and her own feelings. However, what's kept her from acting that way to her Wisps? Like if she decided to stop using them or bringing them along to missions and battles, especially after recent events, after Whisper failed to stop Surge from taking them and needed Sonic and Tails to get them back for her.
It's different scenarios. The Wisps were the team that she was with, in addition to the rest of the Diamond Cutters. It was part of who she was before her life fell apart. So she desperately needs to be with them to feel whole. Letting somebody else in to her inner circle is different. That's adding to who she is now, and that's where she has the most trouble accepting and being comfortable with it. So just her solo with the Wisps was kind of the equilibrium she had found after Mimic's betrayal. Anything else, losing them or gaining new friends, throws that equilibrium off, and she has to learn to adjust and grow and let go.
Yeah. Here's a question from Goomba Broadcast. Did Vector and Charmy contribute to the creation of the Bumble King's design?
Not consciously, no. Subconsciously, maybe, because I'm neck deep in Sonic. It's part of my psyche now. It's inescapable, but they were not forefront in my mind with its creation.
You are the Sonic man, though. I mean, you had Sonic on the brain before you were even officially involved with the franchise.
Yeah. But no, what the Bumble King came from was I was sitting in my advanced science class, and we had this big packet of info to go through as we were going to take a trip to Swamplands for an extended class session. And we were going over the basics like don't touch the alligators, don't drink the mud water, stay with your group, the common sense stuff. So I'm just doodling on the front of the package, which had a picture of an alligator on it. I drew little bingo ball antennas on it and put a little thought balloon. I am the Bumble King, and drew a bunch of little bees flying around going, we love our king. It's like, this is the stupidest thing, but it's kind of catchy. I wonder if I did like a very simplified drawing of that. Does that look like that? Kind of looks like a logo. That almost looks like a brand. I wonder if I can do something with this. And here we are.
Delicious mud water. That's my whole takeaway from that. Here's one from Godzilla. I come today with an Archie Sonic what if. In the much beloved Enerjack Returns arc, Dr. Finitivas put a curse on the Master Emerald and used it to turn Knuckles into Enerjack. You had previously stated that the original idea was to use Remington, but that would require too much reintroduction of Remy. But there was another echidna right there who could have been used, who always dreamed of unlimited power. Lian Da. What if Lian Da had become Enerjack? Would hashtag Lian Jack had been a more dangerous threat than Knuckles Jack? What would have happened to her once she had been depowered? Would she follow Dimitri's footsteps to try and get the power back? Or would this have been her come to Aurora moment and realized that she needs to work on her copious amount of personal issues? Or would they have just tossed her in jail with the other baddies?
She would have been an absolute nightmare. Probably would have followed a similar steps as Knuckles Jack, or no, excuse me, Energy Knuckles. There we go. But probably a little more, I don't want to say finessed, because she's not exactly subtle, but she would have been brutal. She would have enacted sweeping changes in the same way and had to be stopped by Supersonic in an equal degree of force.
It would have been fun, though.
Oh, yeah. She probably would have looked amazing as well. But, like Egyptian God Queen, come on now. Assuming that she was reverted back to normal, she would have just been like crazy obsessive of getting that power back. Like, one of the running things to her character is not having the power and the authority that she wants or thinks she's due. And to have obtained that, to have become a god for a time, she would be able to live with herself otherwise. She would go to any lengths, make any alliance, dabble in whatever dark sorcery is needed just to have a grasp at that power again. It would probably become her main motivator after that point. It doesn't really matter what specifically happened to her, if she got locked up or if she got taken in by an enemy faction or whatever. She would like claw her way out of any jail cell. She would make any alliance just to get that power back and to be on top again.
God, that would be great. Honestly, man, I miss Lian Da. She had a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun to be had with her. Oh well. Here's a question for Fang. My question is a storybook question. Now, we've all heard you want to do a Wizard of Oz storybook story, but no one has asked the real question. Sonic storybook that takes place in the Shrek universe. That includes Last Wish. How would you approach this story? Well, I haven't seen Last Wish, so I don't know.
Oh, you should.
I've been told that.
Oh, you should. It's good.
I've been told it's very good. It's on the list. No spoilers, apparently.
I wonder, can you make a mashup of Reach for the Stars and Hey Now You're an All-Star? Does that work? No, it does not. It absolutely does not.
Reach for the All-Stars. Why not? You could.
I don't know, because the thing about the storybooks is that Sonic, I guess on 101 Arabian Nights, he wasn't really any particular one character. Maybe Aladdin if you're making a stretch, but he wasn't really analogous. Whereas in the Arthurian legend, he was Arthur, or the analog.
Mm-hmm.
In Shrek,
let Sonic be Shrek. Let Sonic be green.
I cannot see that happening.
It would be more like Werehog. You would be Werehog Sonic as Shrek, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, everyone sees him as monstrous. All right, I can get behind that.
or just make him Donkey.
I mean, would we make Blaze Puss in Boots? I mean, yeah, it seems like the lazy option, the cat, but let her have a little bit of fun.
And she wears boots.
Yeah.
I mean, Puss in Boots is kind of a piratey type, and it would be kind of fitting for Blaze to kind of be a piratey type, even though she's not a piratey type normally. But
the irony of there.
Irony, yes. That would be great.
Does that mean, in this case, that Amy is the Fiona analog and she gets her own werehog form at night?
That might be interesting.
I mean, I am really not opposed to werehog Amy. That'd be fun.
I've seen some fan designs that are really good for werehog Amy, so yeah, I'm down.
I mean, I guess the initial concern is that Shrek is all about protecting what is his. He's not a people person, and Sonic is the exact opposite. But if we've got our Prince Farquaad analog. Snively, perhaps?
Oh.
Moving in to take over the swamp and capture all the critters within. That's right in Sonic's wheelhouse. So sure, he'll go and do the good deed, save the day, regardless of whether or not people think he's monstrous.
As Knuckles is more like Shrek than Sonic would be.
Yeah.
And maybe
Sonic, their characterization's spot on.
And maybe Sonic is Puss in Boots. Even though
No.
Blaze...
We'll have Knuckles be Shrek. And Sonic, we'll go with what you said, and Sonic is Donkey, because he can be the wisecracking sidekick.
Okay, there we go.
Action.
Yeah, okay. There we go. So I guess Amy has to be the dragon then, huh? And then Rouge is Fiona. Onions have layers? A kid does have layers. Yes. I'm good. I'm down. This is good. The question is, who's the gingerbread man? Or is it Tails?
Yeah, I guess. Leads to the construction of an even larger gingerbread Tails.
Belle is Pinocchio, yeah. That makes sense.
Chaotix can be the three little pigs.
Prince Charming. Who's Prince Charming? Maybe Starline.
Yeah, all right, I can get behind
that. Whisper is the big bad wolf. It's a little on the nose, but it's funny. Then Eggman is the fairy godmother.
C minor, put it in C minor.
Oh, man. I'm also being suggested that Boom Knuckles is Prince Charming, which would be funny to have, like, Knuckles, regular main modern Knuckles as Shrek, and then his dumb equivalent from another universe as Prince Charming. That's funny. And Shadow...
I got an idea for
go ahead.
Some Last Wish stuff, but that'd be spoiler territory, and I want you to go into that one blind.
Okay. I will see it. I need to watch it. Being suggested that Shadow is the magic mirror.
Maybe.
I mean, that's kind of funny, but yeah, nah. I feel like there's another character that probably works better for him, but I don't know.
Might be Sage and Nicole in there.
Oh, yeah.
An ethereal user interface, more or less.
Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, you know what? If you have more suggestions about which Sonic characters would be Shrek characters, put them in the comments. Here's this one from E200 Paragon. In Sonic Riders, we're introduced to the Babylon Garden, a gigantic spaceship with the power to manipulate gravity via the Arc of the Cosmos. According to Sonic Riders, the Babylonians crash-landed on Earth in ancient times and interbred with Earth's inhabitants, thus creating the foundations for all Arabic mythologies such as genies and flying carpets. In the present day, various locations like Carnival Night Zone and Death Egg Zone in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the Space Colony Arc in SA2 and Shadow 05, and the Egg Utopia in Sonic Advance 2 utilize anti-gravity technology via a gravity control switch. Thus, my question is this. Is it possible that all of the anti-gravity tech, like the flying cars and Grand Metropolis and the Monopole, are the result of Babylonian technology being assimilated into modern culture over the countless millennia? Side note, your hat-tipping compliment of my dot-connecting matrix is greatly appreciated from previous episode.
Yeah. I could see an argument being made for it, but with the admittedly nebulous amount of time between the Babylonians arriving in modern day and having geniuses like Gerald and Eggman around, I think you could also say that it was something else that has been researched and created since then, independent, especially since the arcs of the cosmos themselves weren't found until well into the modern era. The impression I remember getting from writers is that most of the Babylonian tech and details were lost to time. But, I mean, it could be a reasonable explanation. I could see it going either way or being kind of part of one and part of the other.
Well, let's stew on that for a bit. Let's take a quick break and then come back with more on the BumbleKast. We're back. We got a question from Dove. Okay, Ian, Kyle, you're so smart, huh? Got all the answers, huh?
I don't know about all the answers.
Oh, yeah, we do. We got all the answers. They're not the right answers necessarily, but...
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. We'll try this on for size. Deadly Six meets Sinister Six. How's it go down? How long before the trinity of Chris's, Hemsworth, Evans, and Pratt have to step in to handle things? So many Chris's. Too many.
I don't know. I'm thinking the Deadly Six are out of their weight class here. Like, at best, the Zeddy's powers can play havoc with Dr. Octopus and maybe Mysterio if they know what's happening with Mysterio, but Mysterio could also get the jump on them and cause all sorts of havoc. But Lizard and Sandman are easily in their weight class in terms of raw power. Electro could probably fry them individually, and Kraven is there.
Doc Ock could basically solo the entire Deadly Six. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, like, unless they can get the drop on him with their electromagnetic stuff, he would be... it'd be a mess.
It would not go well. Yeah, it would not go well.
I mean, I'm going by that particular roster. I know the roster has switched up a bit over the years.
We're going, this is traditional Sinister Six,
I mean, some of the other stuff that are more... Some of the other members that are a little more, like, gear-based, like, I don't know, Hobgoblin or Vulture. If they can at least give Spider-Man some trouble, I think they would definitely be able to go toe-to-toe with the Deadly Six, just not necessarily as one side as, like, Lizard or Sandman. Those are kind of like deal breakers right there.
Yeah, they would break it. So, yeah, this is just a general Sinister Six. There's no specific incarnation requested, but still,
Venom into the mix, and they're done.
I mean, it's
they're
over
done before you start. Yeah,
yeah, it's over. Sure, it'd be fun
unless
to watch.
The symbiote decides that he likes Zavok better, and then you get a symbiote Zavok, and that'd be kind of boss looking.
Oh boy. Oh no. But also, oh yes. All right, let's move on. We got this question here from Bob the Guy. Hey Ian, hope you're well. Since you've been doing writing for both Sonic and Rivals of Aether, considering they both have comics and at least somewhat similar tone in lore, would a crossover be completely out of the question in the far future? Outside of if it's possible or not, would you want to do something like that? Do you have any vague ideas for what you would make that look like? Any and all insight is welcome. Thanks so much for your hard work on my favorite franchises.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy. I don't see why it wouldn't be possible. I'm assuming the Studio Aether guys would be on board, and the Sega folks seem generally pretty cool about crossover with other franchises. So, I mean, the Aether series is still fairly niche in terms of presence even within the indie market, but it's growing and they're ambitious. So, I could see them rising enough to make it worthwhile to both parties. And yeah, crossover itself would be fun. I mean, shoot, I'd just like to see the fighting game version. But if that were to happen, I would definitely be on board. And I'm in a unique position. I might be able to help connect wires, maybe down the line.
Yes, stick them wires together, just like Doc Brown and Back to the Future.
I can't make any deals to be sure, but if somebody on either side said, "Hey, can you talk? Is there someone to talk to?" Mm-hmm. I could send a feeler in either direction and say, "Hey, so and so is looking to maybe talk. Would you be interested?" And let them do all the things that business people do.
Business is business. We got a question from Ashter. I feel like being able to relate to characters and the feelings they go through is one of the fundamental reasons why fiction and stories in general are so interesting, comforting, and fun. Being fairly character-driven, I believe the Sonic series is a pretty good example of this. I myself see an almost scary amount of me in Tangle, and Sonic himself has been an inspiration for me since I was a little kid, and I think that sort of reflected on the kind of person I am today. With that in mind, Ian and Kyle, what are some characters from Sonic and or otherwise who you see yourselves in or could relate to at some point of your lives? And do you think any of them shape the people you are now?
In general, no. I've always had the disconnect. I am the observer. I am enjoying the media and the characters for who they are.
Yeah.
That being said, I do remember feeling a certain degree of kinship with Jack out of Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub. And in so much as Jack is able, and through the course of the story, Jack is able to enter into a fantasy world where he kind of, it's not really an isekai, but he doesn't have any kind of analog. He's like a singular entity between these two worlds. And eventually through the course of the story is able to go via free will and just the ability to lose yourself in this fantasy world, to have this whole other imaginary scape that you feel like you exist in, that it feels real, that you can lose yourself in and understand on so many levels and just live in it. I feel very familiar with, because I don't know, just when I'm writing stuff, that's where my headspace goes. Even more so as a kid, it was just, I could, forget where I was in terms of reality and be wherever I was imagining I would be.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of characters really that I felt sort of that connection with, and it's hard for me to say, because I kind of usually just imagined when I was a kid, like imagined myself more in the worlds rather than being another character. I don't know. That's I'd have to think about this one a bit more. I didn't get the chance to before we did this, but that's kind of what I remember the most. So I don't know if I have one necessarily. I don't know. I'd have to think about it a little more, but yeah. Here's one from Angie V. If Vector and the Chaotix suddenly didn't have to worry about paying another rent, food, or utility bill in their life, what would they spend all their detective earnings on? Or what would be their next goal? Would it change their work ethic at all?
I see Vector investing in infrastructure. Fix the roof, fix the floor, get a better landline, actually have an indoor bathroom for once. That outhouse is just tiresome. Pay off all the mounting bills that they have. Really just build up the detective agency. Buy some expensive ad promos. Get some better detective gear. Just really vamp up the agency. Put everything into his business.
Go international.
SBO, I see.
Get a cool van.
I see blowing it on like replica weapons and wall scrolls and just nerd stuff. And he excuses it as he's building his own ninja dojo, but he is just being a nerd. And Charmy, when he gets his cut, it's all toys and candy. Toys and candy. Candy and toys.
Yummy. I'm with Charmy on this one. All right. Uh-oh. This question. I see this incoming question. Oh, no.
There's a question for you, sir.
Yeah, I see that.
Question for Kyle. It has often been said that even the worst Sonic games have phenomenal soundtracks. As a bassist, I generally gravitate towards Sonic music with funky, distinguishable, or otherwise fun bass lines. As a video game music connoisseur yourself, I must ask, what is your favorite bass line in the Sonic franchise? Is it the slap bass from Intro to Escape from the City, or the bass line to Ocean Palace, a contemporary track like Ghost Slap from Frontiers, or a different song entirely?
Go do yourself a favor and open up YouTube and search for Hydro City bass. Listen to that. Listen to the bass isolated from Hydro City. Act 1 or Act 2, either one. They're pretty similar. Act 1's a little slower. But, yeah, listen to that. And then come back to me and tell me which is your favorite bass line in the Sonic franchise. Because Hydro City Zone? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Here's this one from Andrew D. This should hopefully be a fun one for both of you. I've been asked plenty of times about other storybook series for Sonic to get pulled into, but what about some stories that we'll probably never see because they are already existing copyrighted franchise? For example, Sonic and the Ocarina of Time, Sonic and the Revenge of the Sith, Sonic and the Last Airbender, and dare I say it, Sonic and the Skies of Arcadia. etc. Feel free to think of your own, unless you like any of those. What roles would Sonic play in them? Who would bring him to the world? Who would be who? And how would these stories play out? I understand this is a big question, so go through it as briefly as you'd like. Have fun. P.S. Sonic and the Archie Sonic would be hilarious, especially if who becomes who doesn't line up.
God, that one alone feels like it would be a potential rat's nest of ideas, but it'd be ridiculous and hilarious.
Ian, write 7 fanfics right now.
I mean, all of those would be fun. That's kind of the joy of this kind of scenario is, take franchise, add Sonic, shake vigorously.
I mean, there's already a mod to make Sonic into Link in Ocarina of Time, so what the heck, just do that.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure there's also one for Wind Waker.
Wow. Like, even crossing over Sonic with Star Wars is like, pick a trilogy and go from there, because you can get mileage out of any of them,
He's just a weird alien. Yet another one.
No.
What, Sonic? Sonic is a weird alien. Have you seen him?
Yeah, but you can't do that in Star Wars. That's the most boring, non-committal way you could do it. No.
Well, that's what you do with Sonic. That's what everybody just thinks he is. He's just another alien. Because he is. He is.
No. You make him Han Solo.
Okay.
Then you make big Chewbacca.
Weird, but okay. Whose tail's Luke?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is Eggman Darth Vader? Or is Eggman Palpatine?
I don't know. Maybe make Shadow Vader.
I mean,
and then
yeah.
Eggman. Yeah, Eggman is Palpatine, because you gotta have the Death Egg Star. And this is the storybook world where it doesn't have to make sense.
No.
It's just characters playing roles.
Right. Also being suggested that Silver is Luke, which would be kind of funny.
That's also applicable.
Yeah, either one. Who is Kylo?
Well, see, that's the thing. I feel like you need to, take it a trilogy at a time, because if you try to go the whole gamut, you're going to run out of characters and
that's true.
Get too hung up on actual lineages.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if we're just looking at the sequel trilogy, I could see Shadow doing the Kylo thing.
Yeah.
Leave the past behind. Kill it if you have to. That just fits.
It does.
Make Zavok Snoke and then cut him in half. I mean, everybody wins. It's great.
Oh, boy. Let's see. Whisper is the Mandalorian.
This is the way.
Mm-hmm.
With a little Chow Grogu. Oh, I want it.
Or a Wisp Grogu, either one.
Nah, Chow or the Snuggle Babies.
Chow, yeah. Boba. Who's Boba?
Fang.
I mean, yeah, I guess that makes some sort of sense. Let's see. I don't know. We're kind of mixing eras of Star Wars at this point.
Yeah. And it's one of these things where you don't, on the one hand, you want to be attentive to the material, because that's part of the fun, is to see what archetypes can sync up. But on the other hand, you don't want to get too hung up on the details, because then you pigeonhole yourself and you get too concerned about, oh, well, what if this is thematically makes sense? What is this canonically? It's like, not just for pity's sake. It's goofy. Just have some fun with it.
The real question is, who is Max Rebo?
Mammoth Mogul.
Who is Dexter Jetster?
Vector.
Okay. I'm down.
Obi-Wan! Bringing me one of them Camino darts? Sure, you can get yourself a clone. Just depends on how deep your pockets are.
Who is the clones? Tangle. Tangle is all the clones. Either that or she is all the Ewoks.
Oh, God.
Whole army of Tangle Ewoks. Oh, no. Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, boy. Does Big actually talk, or does he just make Chewbacca sounds?
Oh, it's big Chewbacca noises.
I guess Fang would have to actually be the clones, so... Or, who's Anakin in this instance? Blaze? No, not Blaze. No, I don't want to... No. But maybe Blaze is Leia. Maybe. Basically, all the edgy characters are Shadow anyway at this point.
More or less.
Yeah. If you have any suggestions, you know what to do. Comments below. Here's one from Amazin'. What made Silver go back in time in Forces? Did Sonic not get rescued by Original, the character, in his timeline? Or was it the metal virus destroying his entire future that made him go back to that point under the assumption that those events were the cause?
No, he went back because metal virus had ruined the future once he got back. We don't know exactly what the circumstances were that prompted him to go back for Forces. But going by the official material, it could be that Knuckles wasn't involved as soon as he was, because Silver goes to him first and gets him to organize the resistance. And Knuckles wouldn't have known, really, to get involved without Silver's prompting. So that might have been a key event, and just, butterfly effect. Knuckles isn't there. Resistance doesn't have his leadership. Certain battles do not go a certain way. Maybe Sonic isn't rescued by Original, the character. I don't know. It's never been really explained or fleshed out.
Maybe it's just because it's General Knuckles. That was the turning point. Like, I need to go back. Knuckles is in control. This is bad. We need to go back.
I have to prevent it. Oh no, I enabled it.
Oops, screwed up. And we have one last question from Alphamon or Yukon. How would a meeting between Classic Metal Sonic and Neo Metal Sonic go?
Be inspirational to Classic. Look at how far he's come. Look at what he can become. One step closer to being the one true Sonic. What with his giant star-shaped head and silver markings and weird half-kilt jester boots. It's a process. He'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it. I think we're done. We have no more questions, so that leads me to believe that we have finished this episode.
But before we go, we need to give a big thank you to all our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Big thank you to Daniel H., Jennifer R., James K., John B., Robotnik Holmes, Sam Cybercat, Samuel P., Torchbound, Mike B., Andrew D., Dave M., Saluchacat, Jay Frost, Coupling Crew 128, Noni, Hero of Light 13, Professor Scruffy Matt, Chris A., Sunny, Triforce Riku, John M., Sonic, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Jib, Ben Wolfsbane, Lisa M., Lee H.K., Arc Fighter Chevelle, Keeper of Monsters, Axis, Twilord, Xanderoni the Painter, Z Broadcast, Chaos Sonic 1, Starlight Sec, Tick Tick, Jonathan D., The Disgan, Inc., Thanks, The Name is X, Cameron H., Solaristain, Nimmer, Godzilla, Nondel, Jolene B., Yuma 221, Ava Arctic Dove, Justin Mountain Soul, Justin S, Nova Polyduo, Dadler the Dalek, Alex GS, Sonic Legacy, Jennifer H, Pedanti Cat, Les, Red the Supernamic, Alphamon or Yukon, Chad, Joshua S, Omega Watt, Jack the Animator, Wildcard 717, Mancher, Jay the Redneck of the Stars and Tails, Jerusalem, Neblibias, Genzel, Preston M, Indabend, Sammy S, Noah M, Kojiro Highwind, Awesome Cakester, Supersonic Fan, Miles the Prower, Navarre, Exidel, Agent Kaz, Bradry, Sonic 84, Puppy the Scholar, Chase L, 4 Sonic Fan, Tetsuya the Wise, Rhythm Raccoon, Wheelie Do, Sandra BH, Pig Dan 20, The Marble Gardener, Aiden S, Ozjam, Shimmy M, Curly Quills, Angela V, Smiley 21, In Zephyr, Sterling Sonic, Philip is Cold, Kaga, Windskull, Supernova, Superior Pizza, Sonic Patch, Miggy Sawdust, Thick Off Crooker, Vlad, E200 Paragon, Razor, The Crucified Devil, Loop De Loop, Omega Man 21, Thievius, Dominic the Raccoon, Planet Breezy, Bleeding Thumbs 97, Luke R, Unity, Keydrian, Lori L, Jason G, Cody G, Michael P, Niels, Illegal Chow Fights, Nizumi, SB, My Fish Eats Rocks, The ID Card, Philip C, Jonathan F, Hip Kid Brick, Levi C, Amazing, Samuel Star, Dead Air, OK Cheesesteak, Adrian W, Zaylock, Nebula Noob, Lacey M, Lucky Lychee, Spiral, Knuckle Sandwich 87, Tetsu Knife, Raccoon Shinobi, Normal Person, Marcy H, Caswell, Mr. Murderbird, The Giant Murdering Bird, Marlis, Imbluit, Native Nerd 27, Miles, Full Power, Cool Christy 1, Ultra Guy, Crowbo, Salato 02, Noob 600, Sonic Mini 2099, Hadronis, Paley, Ashter, Tenderheart Fun, Roko D, Thick Wanga, Noah I, Amy, Quezel J, Guts, Jihan S, Snow Pear, The Man of Multimedia, Fluffy 93, Mr. Snippy, All Peachy, Jamal S, Wheels 282 Hedgehog, Metamode, Frost the Hobbidon, Danny the Light, Buttered Noodles, Miles Power D, El Technopada, Drew Cosmic Digilive 79, Razor, Sun Blister 16, Travis H, Sprites Forever, and Hug Toad.
Hug Toad. Hug the toad. Hug your toad. All right, that's good. Oh, boy. Thank you all for your amazing support. You guys rule. We'll see you in the next one.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Bye. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Edna, don't do it.
Uh-oh.
She's sitting there going, do I want to vomit on the rug or not?
I mean, she's a cat, so yes. That's the default answer.
You fight it back down, sweetheart? Okay. I think she's all right.
She okay? Okay, good.